Alright, so here we are, the fourth book of the prophet Enoch. Okay, I'm just going to jump around through this. I might eventually read the whole thing once upon a time, but right now I'm not going to. First we're going to read we're just going to read through chapter 2 real quick, and I'm going to let you decide whatever you want, I guess. Those who dwell in the heavenly realms know truth. Reality is spread out before them. They can look into the heavenly places which are above them, and the physical planes which are beneath them, perceiving the realities of existence. For truth is continually washing over them, as the waves of the sea wash over the sands which are on the shore. They know what appears to be is not what is, for they perceive the reality that is hidden from mortal minds by the mists of darkness. All creation acts according to law, for law is the essence of God. It is the great God of all other gods. Light and darkness interact within the law and by the power of the law. The children of God are raised up to everlasting life, or if they reject the means of salvation when they have clearly seen it, they are immersed in eternal darkness by the same power of the law. It is the nature of mortals to be impatient. They will not follow the Lord's teachings because they cannot always see the results of those teachings immediately manifested within their lives. They do not walk with the angel of peace because their mind is filled with desire. They are perpetually wanting what they do not have, and if they obtain it, they desire something else. They can never know true happiness, for they are focused on what they do not have, rather than on what they have. See, rather than what they have. See, when you take up your cross and follow him to Golgotha, which is the place of the skull, and your desires are his desires, then you have salvation, man. Okay? They can never know true happiness, for they are focused on what they do not have, rather than what they have. And you have it all. You have everything. That's why it says focus, set your mind on the righteousness of God, and all these things will be added unto you. Not our righteousness. Our righteousness is as filthy rags. Being centered in desire, they can only experience suffering, for desire is the source of suffering, as peace is the source of joy. The elect who follow the way of the Lord of spirits have learned to be at peace within the eternal law, the reality which is. They desire only light and truth. For that desire they must suffer, but their suffering is swallowed up in joy of unity with the divine. They will be filled with light, joy, and peace, and they will inherit the earth. The elect who follow the way of life will receive understanding, wisdom, and knowledge. They will learn property and prudence. They will develop those divine attributes which are shared by God, so that they will exist forever, surrounded by all that is good. Alright, now we want to find law. Law. Alright, here it is. Chapter 5. We're just gonna jump into this, and it's gonna be chapter 5. If you guys want to read it, it's only a few chapters, so I totally recommend reading this. I recommend reading this at least once or twice. I've read this more than twice. This is a great book. This is probably one of my favorite books that I've ever read. Like, literally. Like, it's that good. Like, you can go here to check it out. Like, I'll put the link in the description, dude, for real, because it's, dude, if you want to know what's going on here, this book is gonna tell you with the greatest of ease, dude. Like, it just runs everything down, dude, and it just explains everything. Like, I believe, like, it's not necessarily canonical, but it's after what, almost more than 10 years of studying and reading the Bible and doing Bible studies and knowing that, where was that at? Is this one right here? It is knowing that the law of cause and effect is what supersedes free will and our desires. Bruh. When I saw that in this book, dude, my mouth dropped open. Because I was just now getting to the point to where, like, there's stuff that there's only some things that we can do, and when we try to do things we can't do, we're not going to be able to do them, and that just leads us into our suffering and stuff like that. Like our choices are just there because of the law of cause and effect, and that's what you need saved from. You can't be in a divide and be whole with God. It's not possible. Like, you can't do that, man. You need to give up. You need to, take up your cross, go to Calvary, be crucified, and let him reign, because that's what he does. And if you don't, the law of cause and effect is going to continue to show you that until you die, and you're not going to be content with your death if you did end up knowing the truth. And you're not going to like that. You're not going to be a happy camper. I can guarantee you that. All right, chapter 5. After this, the archangel Michael came unto me while I was meditating in my garden. My mind was flowing into the greatness and the blessings of the Lord, God of power and Lord of peace. And he is the Lord of peace, man, because God is the Lord of peace, man. It just is what it is, man. And when I saw Michael, he said to me, Enoch, teacher of property, go to the land of Armon, to Semyaza, the leader of those seraphim who had become the god of darkness. Say to him, Semyaza, you have deserted your lofty place in the spiritual realm to impregnate mortal women and produce children contrary to the divine plan. You were in the spiritual realm, but you did not understand the mysteries that were taught you there. The Son of God will be born on this mortal plane, but he will not be the child of a seraph. For you do not have the power to beget a divine Son mortally. The bodies which you have produced are the habitations of spirits of darkness, who create only destruction on the earth. They will be destroyed, for there is no light in them, and you will inherit darkness for all your dark deeds. I did as Michael had instructed me. Also, Michael, if you look it up, if you break it down, Mikael is who is like God. That's that angel's name. That angel's name is Who Is Like God. Pretty legit, if you ask me. And I did as Michael had instructed me. I traveled to the land of Armon, located Semyaza, and delivered my message. He was very angry and commanded his son to imprison me. They did, and I was there 3 days in prison. But I continued to rejoice with God with all my soul, with my whole soul. Then Michael came to me in prison and said to me, Enoch, teacher of property, I am your angel who stands before the Lord of spirits. The spiritual realm is filled with angels, saints, and spirits who are centered in propriety. These hear the prayers of mortals, adding their faith to yours, so that your mind can expand as far as God. You are not alone, for the work of the inhabitants of the spirit realm, who are devoted to the increase of light and truth, is to assist you to rise up and share the exaltation and light which they have received. Where is this law at? It's right here. You, Enoch. Oh, this is it right here. This is it right here. This is what Michael told him to go do these things. This is what Michael's telling. This is Michael telling him this. He came into him in prison. Well, he was sent in prison by Semyaza, who came to Earth to impregnate mortal women, and they produced the spirits of darkness dwelling in in the host bodies. So everything is definitely not as you see it. I hope you know that. I hope you're aware of that. Like, just because you see something and it looks pretty, it might bite you. But anyway, you, Enoch, have been called by God to be a teacher of propriety, a spiritual master to instruct those on the mortal plane concerning the principles which will enable them to become like God. Mankind in their natural state are subject to the illusions of the powers of darkness. Okay? Mankind in their natural state are subject to the illusions of powers of darkness. They live their lives at enmity with God because they are ignorant of the principles of truth. Okay, so principles of truth. Even when they try to do good, they frequently commit evil, because the laws of cause and effect are hidden from them by the illusions of mortal existence. Did you get all that? Even when you try to do good, you frequently commit evil, because the laws of cause and effect are hidden from you by the illusions of mortal existence. For instance, when you have a choice because you went through an experience. That experience went through many other things in order to get to you. So, you now have a choice, but it wasn't even yours to begin with. So, why do you think that you are the one who takes care of your family and yourself and your body and your provisions, your food, your drink, your clothing? You're not. It's not like that at all. It's like this. You don't know where your gas came from. All you knew is it was in a gas pump and you filled up your car. And that's how you got to work. You don't even know where it came from. You don't even think about it. You don't even think that's important to even think about where all this stuff even came from so that you can go about your daily life. That's what this is explaining to you. Okay? Like you don't even think like you don't even want to know who you are. You just want to fucking, that's what it was explaining to you. Like up here, in the second chapter, it was they just want the desires and stuff, man, and they lead themselves in sorrow constantly, and it's just it's not even worth it, dude. Like, and life is just gonna continue to show you that it's the boss, whether you like it or not. So you might as well just surrender to it and let it do its job, man. Or you're gonna be in torment, you know. Just think of this. Think of you coming here to this earth as your first death. If you've ever read Revelations, there's a second death. And this is the true interpretation of that. You coming here and dying. Because the wages of sin are death. Anyway, you have been instructed by your parents. Oh, this one here. That's the number 5. This was actually really good. Every time I read this, my spirit just gets happy there. Like, it just jumps. Because it's like, oh man, I read this before and it's really good. Because of the laws of cause and effect are hidden from them by the illusions of mortal existence. Okay, we just went over that. Okay? You have been instructed by your parents and your ancestors in the order of the ancients, and the holy angels are continuing to unfold before you the way of life. Okay? I just explained all of that to you. That which you have received, you must impart to others, or it will be of no value to you. I will take you from this prison, for the slaves of darkness have no power over you. You are called to proclaim the Lord's word through the mortal plane until God receives you up to himself. Go, Enoch, declare the truth. Do not fear what mortals can do to you, for you are triumphant through the power of God who has saved you. Isn't that amazing? That's like something you could write on a t-shirt, man. Like that whole thing. Just write it all on a t-shirt. You know? Can you dig that? That's awesome, dude. Like, but what I really, 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 really wanted to touch on was up here in chapter 2. I wanted to touch on people with their minds filled with desire. See, you're just so incredible. Everybody's so incredibly captivated that they don't think about, where their gas even came from. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't think about who they really are. You know what I'm saying? They don't think about how they got here. They don't think about how their parents, these people were all put in the place right where they needed to be so you could do right now. So you could do right now. And that is God. That is God's work, man. Like, but you being blind to that is it's not what we want, man. We don't want you to see yourself as an animal that just wants shit. Because you came from the very beginning, you know? See, we just don't, we want you just to live, man. Live honestly, live truthfully. And it's not by what you think it is, it's by what it actually is. And you need to have faith in that. And that's where you will find your peace at. Okay? Because if God did everything and He created everything, then He's obviously going to know how to take care of you. And it's just that simple, man.